Okay, so we're all stuck at home during this coronavirus break, and I thought, what are some secrets that no other YouTuber has ever really mentioned all that often in their videos about how to shoot a basketball? So that's what this video is all about. So number one, I'm gonna get right into it. The third biggest secret that YouTubers and everybody always neglects to mention, unless you want to buy their things, is hand placement. And hand placement on the ball is very, very important on how you want to shoot a basketball better. So number one, you want that middle finger to go right down the middle of the ball. Doesn't matter if the ball is here, 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 the middle finger has to be on the middle of that ball. There's a reason for that. The middle finger is your biggest finger on your hand. So you want it to roll off that middle finger. You don't want it to roll off those two fingers or those two fingers, because that's the angle it's going to go. So you want it to go off the middle finger. But let's continue with hand placement. If you're old enough, like I'm 30, almost 30 years old now, and we've probably all seen, or at least my age has seen, that basketball that was given away by, I can't remember which fast food company, but it was the Shaq basketball. And we all seen, I used to have one, but I don't know where it's gone, but his hand was like the size of the ball, but it was all spread out. And that is a massive tip, subtle tip that nobody really got. And now Shaq wasn't the greatest of shooters. Like, he was like a 40-50% free throw shooter, but there was something about that ball that made me think, and then I did some research back when I was a kid, and this is why I was actually a pretty good shooter when I was younger, and that is because you should spread your hand out on the ball. You shouldn't be shooting with your hand close like this. You shouldn't be having it sort of spread out. You want it to be taking up as much of that ball as possible. That's going to allow you to, one, palm the ball if the ball wasn't dirty, if your hand was as big as mine, but it's going to allow you to have more control over the ball. The other thing is to have space between your palm and the ball. This is all hand placement. So when you shoot that ball, you want to have the widest area of the ball taken up by your hand, because you want to have that control on that ball. And then when you shoot, you want it to go off that middle finger. This is going to allow you to have a perfect shot, at least when it comes to hand placement. Now, you don't even need to have a net when you're at home. You can literally just look at your hand and then practice shooting into the air. Now, my hand went out a little bit to the side. You want it to go straight down like that. Now, get yourself a camera. Everyone has one on their cell phone. That went off the right side of my hand. And record yourself shooting a couple of shots. My hand went out towards the right again. You want your hand to go totally down. That was good. I think that was good. But record yourself, slow it down. You can scrub through the footage really slowly on your iPhone. You can probably do the same on an Android. And by doing this, you're going to be able to see your hand placement, what finger the ball is rolling off, and also to see if your elbow's underneath the ball. These are all hand placement tips on how you can shoot a basketball better. Now, into my second tip. This is another huge tip. This is going to be difficult for me to explain here in a driveway, but I can get some footage of NBA players and lay it over. But basically, a huge tip is when you're shooting the ball, you don't want to be releasing the ball on your way up. That doesn't give you any control over the ball. You want to release that ball right at the top of your shot for two reasons. Number one, at the top of your jump, that's going to be the highest point, and it's going to be a little bit harder to block. That's number one. But number two is you're actually more in control when you're at the peak of your jump or just slightly under. This is a huge tip that I can give you. So when you shoot, you want to be right at the top of your jump. And that's going to give you more power, it's going to give you more control, and it's going to also allow you to have a harder shot to block. This is a massive, massive tip. Really get a camera, scrub through the footage of you shooting, and try to aim to get your shot right at the peak, if not just right under. So what I mean by just right under is when you've hit your peak and you're just slightly coming back down, that's when you want to release that ball, either right at the peak or when you're coming back down just a bit. And then my third secret tip that I can give you today is going to be looking at the rim. So even though you may not have the ball yet and you're receiving that ball, in the corner of your eye, you can see that ball. What you really want to do, let's say the rim is up there, you want to focus on that rim the whole time. Now, what's that going to do for you? Well, in your peripheral vision, you're still seeing the ball coming towards you to receive that ball. If you're dribbling into your shot, that's going to give you the ability to take that shot and already know what you're aiming for. Now, you may not be able to see that with my glasses or my sunglasses on, but with your peripheral vision, you're looking up, you're looking at that rim. But also, with your peripheral vision, you're going to be able to see your players on your team. You're going to be able to see the player closing out on you. So by looking in that direction, you're able to see everything anyways. So you're looking at that direction, and then you're taking that shot or you're passing it off. But these are the 3 secret tips that many YouTubers and many trainers don't teach their players unless they want to pay more money. And that's what I'm giving you today. So number 1, hand placement, as wide as you can get, coming off that middle finger, having space between the palm and the ball. Number 2, when you're shooting that ball, get to the top point of your shot or just below, and that's when you want to release it. And then number 3 is going to be looking at the rim when you're about to shoot. Now that third point does seem to really negate the effect of, hey, players are going to know that I'm shooting. But if they do know that you're shooting and you're looking at the rim the whole time, you can just pass it off. It's like one of those no-look passes where you can be going for the rim and then you dish it off to somebody on the right side or whatever. Anyways, I hope that these tips help you become a better shooter while we're all stuck at home. And if it does, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.